So the first step in changing the oil is to know whether or not you actually need it. And if you drive like most people, you should change it every 6 months or every 3,000 miles. So I check the odometer reading every time I change the oil and write it down. That way next time I know whether or not it's time to change the oil. So in order to change your own oil, you're going to need a few things like this is an oil catch basin, and you're going to need the right amount of oil and the right type of oil. This is synthetic for high performance cars. This is a filter wrench, a different type of filter wrench, safety glasses, rubber gloves, rag, owner's manual, the wrench that fits the oil drain plug, replacement oil filter that matches your car. This is a funnel which fits the particular shape of the bottle, the oil bottle, jack stands, and a floor jack. And of course you want to get on some work clothes because it's a messy job. So you want to make sure when you get the oil that it is the manufacturer's recommended oil and it has the API certification seal. Having the owner's manual is very helpful because it can not only tell you the location of things like the oil fill cap and the drain plug location, but the recommended oil type. So if your owner's manual suggests you use 5W30, you purchase enough 5W30 motor oil to fill the crankcase. So use the owner's manual to tell you what type of oil is recommended and also the quantity. The owner's manual also tells you where the oil drain bolt is located on your car and also the location of the oil filter. Pop the hood. So under the front of the car there's a spot where you want to locate the jack. In this case it's a floor jack, and so there's a little arrow right here pointing to the knob where you want to mount the jack. So now you want to slowly slide the jack underneath the car. This is a low profile jack for a low profile car. So now that the car is jacked up in the air, we want to use two of these jack stands and support the car on either side and then pull this out. We're never going to work under the car, supported only by a jack. Use your owner's manual to find the location recommended by the manufacturer to locate the jack stands. Here you can see the jack stand locked in place in the appropriate jacking position. Never work on a car that's supported only by a jack. Make sure you have the right jack stands. This is the oil pan drain plug, and this is a magnetic variety. This is a magnet. The idea is little particles of steel will adhere to the end of this, and you could tell if you're getting any wear. You want to purchase a gasket, or it's a crush washer. In this case it's a 14 millimeter copper washer, and what you want to do is replace this every time. So now that all the oil is drained out, you want to replace the drain plug. Next you want to replace the oil filter, and if I'm lucky I can unscrew this by hand. Then I just turn it upside down and let it drain in the drain basin. So now you take your new one and you want to put a little bit of oil on this gasket and also on the threads, just to make it easier to go on. Next, you want to make sure that the surface that you're going to mate this oil filter to is clean, and then you just replace it. And you just want to tighten it till it's seated, and then 3/4 of a turn. And you can do that by hand. So just confirm that everything is sealed up on the bottom. New filter, and you have replaced the oil pan plug, and then you're ready to lower the car. You want to just lower the car slowly. Add the recommended amount of oil according to your owner's manual. In this case, 4.8 quarts. Wipe off any spills and replace the oil filler cap. Then you can check your oil level. Pull out the dipstick, wipe it off, put it back in. That looks beautiful. Now I'll recycle my oil by putting the used motor oil back into these little bottles. Then you want to recycle your oil by taking it to a recycling center. While I'm under the hood, I always check my belts and make sure they're in good condition and see if the hoses need replacing or attention. I also check my fluids, in this case power steering fluid, and make sure it's within limits. And I check my brake fluid to make sure it doesn't need to be refilled. I top off the washer fluid. Check your battery terminals and make sure there's no obvious corrosion. And then I'll check my coolant level, make sure I have enough of that. Check my tire pressure and fill it up if necessary. If you're doing your own maintenance, I typically write down what I did and the date and the odometer reading, just to have a record in my maintenance log.